The Young and the Restless spoilers for the upcoming week reveal that Sharon Newman will face an emotional ordeal as Nick could grill her with suspicion amid the crisis. Summer won't go easy either about her mom's accident. Meanwhile, Victor will swell with pride after his latest achievement, but Jack and Diane will need to reboot. What else could come up with the characters in Genoa City? Let's find out. Is Sharon behind the accident? Our spoilers for the week of November 18 to 22 reveal that Sharon will face a tough time ahead, and she'll be all alone tragically as even Nick may bash her with suspicion. Phyllis's car crash could cause a lot of trouble for Sharon because Summer Newman will blame her for the accident. Moreover, she might also lash out at Chance Chancellor for ignoring Phyllis's theory all this time and focusing on Daniel in the murder case leading to this ordeal. Daniel could also join Summer and suspect Sharon's involvement in the case, but he will likely be more concerned about his mother's well-being. He will be worried about whether Phyllis will make it through or not. Her medical condition is bound to keep the siblings awake and furious amid the drama. As Dr. Elena Dawson will be back in town, she can also be a part of the team treating Phyllis to save her life. However, the accident could result in a coma for Phyllis, considering the severity of the crash. Do you think GH will keep her in a coma for a long time? As for Nick Newman, he'll be devastated by Phyllis's news and will ensure to stay by Summer's side. He could also be seen questioning Sharon over her involvement in the accident. When that happens, Sharon might feel pushed to the edge as her medical condition continues to escalate. The following weeks could bring some revelations about Sharon's condition, as she is experiencing severe symptoms like blacking out more often. Sharon could spill out the truth herself and reveal her involvement in Heather Stevens' murder case and Daniel's framing. Or she could at least mention her ongoing medical symptoms to control the damage. There is speculation that some factors and people are involved in this ongoing menace. So what if the real culprit comes to light, who has been reaping the benefits of Sharon's mental illness? If that happens, it will be interesting to watch. Victor celebrates Jack and Diane's next step, Abby Devon's honeymoon. As for Victor Newman, he will feel on top of the world after his new deal with Jill Abbott. He'll celebrate the takeover of Abbott Chancellor's company as a new addition to his Newman empire and won't fear any revenge from Billy Abbott. But what if Billy bounces back with a surprise plan? However, Jack Abbott and Diane Jenkins Abbott will be mulling over their exposed fake marriage fiasco as it comes to light. Now they will have to figure out their next move or a fresh plan to gain leverage over Victor and save their son Kyle Abbott from his trap. What could be their next move? Lastly, the week will bring a close to the wedding celebrations of Abby Newman Abbott and Devon Hamilton Winters. Soon, we could see them heading for their honeymoon. The duo may manage to celebrate their paradise amid all the chaos brewing around them in Genoa City. The Young and the Restless spoilers for next week reveal that the drama will be at its peak, and fans will get to witness suspicion and treachery on the show. But do you think it's really Sharon behind Phyllis's accident? Do share in the comments. Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel, Pulse Canvas. It's me, Julie here. I hope everyone is having a wonderful day. Keep watching, so let's dive into today's video. The Young and the Restless spoilers preview video for the week of November 18 to 22 reveals that Summer Newman will struggle to believe this is happening as Phyllis Summers remains unconscious at the hospital. Daniel Romalotti will wonder if there's a treatment or something else the doctors can do. But Elena Dawson will insist there's nothing beyond stabilizing Phyllis and monitoring her vitals. At that point, Elena may suggest it's just a waiting game to see if Phyllis will wake up and what her cognitive abilities will be like. Although Summer and Daniel will face some scary moments, Phyllis is indeed going to pull through and get back to her old self eventually. In the meantime, Victor Newman will meet with Diane Jenkins Abbott and insist he's just forwarded the signed papers for the transfer of Glissade to her. Just like that, a suspicious Diane asks Victor in Y&R's weekly preview video. Have Diane and Jack Abbott really outsmarted Victor, or is he now duping them with a plot of his own? It's always wise to keep your guard up with Victor, so we don't blame Diane for thinking this is a little too easy. Victor always has a few cards left to play, so maybe Diane and Jack shouldn't get too comfortable with the idea of victory here. Speaking of victory, Jordan and Lan&Jordan will pat themselves on the back for achieving it. I&R fans will see Lan&Jordan raise their glasses as they celebrate their success. Jordan will insist it's time to pop the champagne as she erupts into maniacal laughter with Ian. We were already sold on Lan&Jordan being fantastic partners in crime, but seeing them toasting to their own scheme in the preview clip makes us even more excited. Lan&Jordan have apparently been quietly manipulating things for quite some time, so that may include the whole situation with Heather Stevens. Now that Jordan has seemingly run Phyllis off the road and let Sharon Newman think she's to blame, the drama's really heating up. Our predictions point to Jordan and Ian weaving an even more tangled web in the coming episodes, so we'll bring you updates on their conniving plans. The Young and the Restless spoilers say Lan&Jordan will work together to get revenge and cause disastrous news all over Geno City. The Young and the Restless spoilers for Monday, November 18, reveal that Nick Newman will have to figure out his next move following Sharon Newman's awful confession. Nick never thought Sharon could be capable of killing Heather Stevens, framing Daniel Romalotti-Jerdot, and running Phyllis Summers off the road to silence her. Nevertheless, Sharon will maintain that she did all that and will let Nick decide her fate. Although Sharon can't remember what happened when she blacked out, she's convinced she's guilty and couldn't keep it bottled up anymore. Nick may be a bit torn about turning Sharon over to the cops, especially since he'll know what this will do to Faith Newman. At the same time, how can Nick just let Sharon get away with everything, especially since Daniel is facing murder charges? Nick may end up calling Chance Chancellor and urging Sharon to tell him the exact same story. Perhaps Nick will think Sharon needs doctors rather than prison and suggest maybe her obvious mental struggles can help her avoid jail time. Of course, it's possible Nick will have the nagging feeling that there's more to the story. Could Nick hold off on turning Sharon in while he investigates? Sharon obviously needs mental help either way, so that part should be non-negotiable. However, Nick might ultimately come to believe there's more going on, especially if he finds out about Sharon's missing phone and the texts that summoned Phyllis to the cottage. Sharon was with Faith at Crimson Lights and then in her car on the road when those texts came through. Since Sharon came home to find her phone on the coffee table, Nick might figure out that someone else is tangled up in all this. Lan&R fans know Jordan and Lan&Jordan are plotting together, so there could be some clues for Nick to find along the way. Whether Nick has Sharon locked up or not, he'll probably keep looking into all this and hoping that there are facts she doesn't know. At the hospital, Daniel and Summer Newman will feel like they're living a nightmare. Since Phyllis has been in a long-term coma before, it'll concern Daniel and Summer when she doesn't wake up right away. Elena Dawson and the rest of Phyllis' medical team will get her stable, but there won't be much else they can do for her except monitor vitals and hope for the best. At the Abbott house, Jack Abbott and Diane Jenkins Abbott will give Kyle Abbott a full explanation for their fake marriage destruction. Although Diane and Jack have been trying to free Kyle from Victor Newman's grasp, their manipulation surely won't go over well. Kyle will have a chance to react to Diane and Jack's deception, so they'll do damage control as they face their son's fury. The Young and the Restless spoilers say Kyle will have to decide if he can get past Jack and Diane lies, so we'll bring you updates on their efforts and more predictions on any Abbott family news. The Young and the Restless spoilers for Friday, November 15, 2024 are here. In tomorrow's episode, fans will see Sharon Newman get backed into a corner. Jack Abbott and Diane Jenkins Abbott are busted. Plus, Victor Newman makes an impressive addition to his empire. Keep reading and let's talk about what is coming up in the next episode of the CBS soap opera. The Young and the Restless spoilers, Phyllis Summers' fate. Lan&R spoilers for Friday, November 15, reveal that fans will likely learn if Phyllis Summers survived the crash or not. Phyllis still had a pulse when Nick Newman and Chance Chancellor pulled her out of the wreckage. Will Phyllis be in a coma? Will she wake up and blame Sharon? If so, Sharon might get some help from Faith Newman, who will insist her mother lost her phone and couldn't have sent those messages. How did Jordan get Sharon's phone? Lan&R spoilers, Sharon Newman grilled. Once the accident happened, Sharon freaked out. After getting home, Sharon talked to Nick on the phone and immediately asked about Phyllis. That is when Nick wanted to know how Sharon even knew about Phyllis' fiery crash. Nick demanded to know if Sharon had anything to do with Phyllis' accident. Sharon just begged Nick to come over without confirming or denying anything. When Nick gets to Sharon's house, will she confess or come up with yet another cover story? Hallucination Cameron Kirsten could pop up before Nick gets to Sharon. Cameron will likely dissuade Sharon from telling Nick the truth. The Young and the Restless spoilers, Jack Abbott and Diane Jenkins Abbott busted. The Young and the Restless spoilers for Friday, November 15 reveal that Jack and Diane will end up getting busted. While Jack and Diane were trying to pull a big con just like Victor, it failed miserably. Plus, Jack and Diane's scam didn't really affect Victor or his long-term plans. Jack and Diane did deceive their loved ones. While Jack and Diane might reason that they couldn't risk Victor finding out the truth, it could squash the thaw between Kyle Abbott and his father. The Young and the Restless spoilers, Friday, November 15, 2024. On Friday, November 15, fans will also see Victor make an impressive addition to his empire. While Jill Abbott can't handle the business or Billy Abbott's theatrics anymore, it seems Victor is just making the situation so much worse. Despite Victoria Newman's feelings for Cole Howard, could she end up saving Billy from himself? Which storyline are you looking forward to seeing the most on Friday, November 15, 2024? Share your thoughts in the comment section below. Remember to keep watching the soap on CBS or Paramount Plus to find out what happens next. For the Friday, November 15 episode of The Young and the Restless, spoilers photos show Audra getting a surprising arrival while Sally learns something unexpected. These images preview some intense moments that you will not want to miss. Scenes from Genoa City. Lily and Nate talk with newly married Divin. They're enjoying champagne, and it looks like Lily is giving her brother some advice or well wishes, but she might be telling him some news. She looks less than happy when she talks to Nate. It seems like she lets him know Jill's decision to sell to Victor. Soon, it's time for Abby to throw the bouquet. She and Devin are all smiles as Anna, Harmony, and Ashley line up. It looks like Victoria is off to the side. However, Audra is alone at a nearby table looking annoyed by the whole tradition. Abby's bouquet flies her way, and Audra catches it. She doesn't seem overly pleased since she's been outspoken about how much she's not for marriage. Will she follow tradition and end up being the next bride? Perhaps she and Nate will decide to make it official, but seems unlikely. At the Genoa City Athletic Club, Billy meets up with Sally. She looks concerned, and he tells her about his mom deciding to sell to Victor. Is he going to try to fight to keep Abbott Chancellor? If so, we can see Sally supporting him. Check out everything in the slideshow below. The Young and the Restless scoop for Friday, November 15 reveals Sharon Newman will finally come clean with Nick Newman. Also coming up, Billy Abbott will confide his troubles to Sally Spectra. Plus, Jack Abbott and Diane Jenkins are in cahoots, and Victor Newman will tell Kyle Abbott he's out. Lan&R spoilers tease Billy will walk into the GCAC and Sally will spot him. How was the wedding? She'll ask. He'll say he forced his mother's hand, and it became clear she's not all in on supporting her son. My dear mother sold the company to Victor. Billy will say he's so angry at his mother's betrayal, and he's going to make Victor pay for what he did to him. Lan&R Daily Scoop. Kyle's furious to learn he's out at Glissade. At Newman Ranch, Kyle will tell Diane there's no way in hell Victor would cut him out to hire her. You made another bad choice, Kyle, she'll say. Diane will add that Victor was only using him to hurt Jack, and he'll confirm everything she said. So Kyle will confront the mustache, who will confirm he's out. Kyle, I'm sorry, you're a very good man, but this is the way the world works, he'll tell a furious Kyle. Once you stop licking your wounds, you'll understand what I did. Abby Newman and Devin Winters will make their toasts, then they'll head upstairs to change. Once they come down, Abby will toss the bridal bouquet behind her. The guests will laugh when Audra Charles catches it. Don't get any ideas, she'll tell Nate Hastings. At the Avid estate, Kyle will return home with Claire Grace. He'll head upstairs to check on his son, and Jack and Diane will walk in. What the hell is she doing here? Kyle will ask when he comes downstairs. It was all an act, Diane will say. We did it to save you, Kyle. Meanwhile, Nick will show up at the cabin to find a shaken Sharon. I need to know about Phyllis. Is she going to be all right? She'll ask. He'll say someone went across the center line and hit her. Then Phyllis Summers hit a tree. So she's still alive, Sharon will reply. I didn't kill Phyllis. Nick will ask what she's talking about. I blacked out in my car earlier, Sharon will tell him. She'll say she hurried over and saw him and Chance Chancellor trying to revive Phyllis. Sharon will add that she was the one who ran her off the road. Young and the Restless Scoop came up with a plan to kill Daniel. But Nick will say he can't imagine her intentionally hurting someone like that. I had to do whatever I could to stop her, Sharon will say. He'll remind Sharon no one believes what Phyllis has been saying about her. What Phyllis said about me, it was not a lie. It's the truth, Sharon will reply. I killed Heather. She is dead because of me, and I can't live with myself anymore. Nick will be in denial and say she didn't purposely hurt Phyllis or anyone else. But Sharon will tell him they need to call Chance. She wants to confess. She'll say it started with memories of Cassie. Then Faith Newman and Lucy Romalotti's car accident brought back all her memories and her pain. She'll continue, saying she started to see Cameron Kirsten, a hallucination and a devil whispering in her ear. Nick will ask what he told her to do. To avenge our daughter's death, to make Daniel pay for what he did. She'll add she twisted herself into believing if she hurt another person in Cassie's name, it would somehow make things better. That's when I came up with a plan to kill Daniel. Sharon will tell him about breaking into the apartment and putting poison in his whiskey bottle. But she poured it out. She was getting ready to leave, but Heather Stevens came home. Why didn't she just let me go? Sharon will ask. I shoved her, and then I blacked out. Nick will ask what happened when she came to. Heather was there, lying on the floor, she wasn't moving, and there was blood. But instead of calling someone, she listened to Cameron, wrapped Heather in a sheet, and cleaned up the blood. I drove to the river, to a bridge, and dumped Heather's body in the river. Then she framed Daniel Romalotti. Finally, Sharon will repeat that Phyllis was right. It was all me, she'll add. Everything she said was true. Sharon will say the guilt inside her became too much to bear. Tell me, Nick, is it time to call Chance now? The Young and the Restless spoilers for Friday, November 15, finish off a festive week by confirming something we've long been suspecting. Jack and Diane are pulling a long con, and they've just been busted. You and me against the world. It was a huge shock to Genoa City when Diane and Jack Abbott suddenly started tearing into each other in public. Sure, their son had pretty horribly betrayed them, and it's normal for parents to disagree under such circumstances. But Jack and Diane's battles went deeper. They went after each other on a deep and personal level, having nothing to do with Kyle. No wonder Victor believed it when Diane came to him with an offer to team up and destroy Jabot. But Jack and Diane's ride is at an end. Didn't they read the fine print that made it clear Victor always has to come out on top in Genoa City? Alas, Jack and Diane were faking, and Kyle finds out. All mine. For instance, while Victor kind of wants Jabot, at the moment, he really wants Abbott Chancellor. Victor made his stance clear to Jill. This sent her to Billy, telling him that Jill doesn't care if he just offered Lily her old co-CEO position back. Jill needs Billy to take it back. Also, he's out on his ear. Victor said so. Didn't Billy read the fine print that made it clear Victor always has to come out on top in Genoa City? Trapped and dangerous. Sharon has been running herself ragged, trying to cover up the role she played in Heather's death. Phyllis has been shouting herself hoarse, trying to expose Sharon's lies. Phyllis' plan was always to yell and scream at Sharon until she had no choice but to confess. Now Phyllis is in the hospital, and Sharon believes she put her there. Congratulations. Of course, we all know it was somebody else. Ian Ward, played by Ray Wise on The Young and the Restless, recently appeared in Genoa City on the Thursday, November 14 episode. His appearance came 8 years after he'd last surfaced on the canvas. Ian was with Jordan Howard, which was unexpected. In case you don't remember what he's done, here's a refresher. Infamous villain. Ian became one of the most infamous villains in my and ours history, known for his sinister, manipulative personality. He was a former cult leader and the founder of the New World Commune. The group profoundly impacted Nikki Newman. Ian manipulated a young Nikki into joining his commune, and they had a disturbing relationship that left her believing he'd fathered her child. Years later, Ian resurfaced, reigniting fears, and Nikki feared for her family's safety. Nikki and Dylan. Initially, Ian focused on tormenting Nikki and manipulating her son, Dylan McAvoy. He claimed to be a life coach and used Summer to extort money from Nikki. Ian played on Dylan's emotional vulnerability, which caused tension with Nikki and others. Ultimately, Dylan learned the truth, discovering Ian's lies when Ian's ex-wife Willa revealed Ian was sterile and unable to have children. This reveal strained Ian's plans, but he continued to wreak havoc. He shifted his focus to targeting the powerful Newman family. Ian and Maria. Maria was a former member of Ian's cult. He tried to use her to manipulate Sharon and Nick. In a strange turn of events, Ian drugged Maria and married her. Ultimately, Nick and Sharon rescued Maria, and Sharon revealed she was Mariah's mother, and Maria was Cassie's twin. Helen Copeland had stolen Maria at birth on Ian's orders. Ian and Phyllis. After Phyllis spent a year in a coma, she met Ian in the woods. He told her that he was Fred, and they bonded. Of course, since Phyllis hadn't been awake during Ian's rampage in Genoa City, she had no idea who he was. Ian's Victor. One of Ian's most significant storylines involved a revenge plot against Victor Newman, a longtime nemesis. Ian used Adam, who was Gabe at the time, to implant a computer virus called the Paragon Project in Newman Enterprises systems. All this happened while Victor was out at Catherine's memorial service. Ian used the Paragon Project as a bargaining chip to dismantle Victor's empire. As the stakes escalated, Ian orchestrated a dramatic kidnapping, taking Nikki hostage to use as leverage against Victor. Ian went to prison. However, later, when Victor was in prison for replacing Jack with a lookalike, he and Ian were there together. Ian escaped, and he kidnapped Nikki. He took her to the Abbott cabin, and Phyllis was there. Ian tied them both to a chair. Victor showed up to transfer $5 million to Ian, but he tricked him. Ian was captured and thrown in prison. The Young and the Restless spoilers. Here's a thrilling narrative exploring the mystery and speculation surrounding CLA, her potential connections to Jordan and Lan&Jordan, and the suspenseful question of whether she will be drawn back into a world of crime and manipulation. The future of CLA, a question of blood and betrayal. As the dust began to settle over the chaos in Genoa City, fans were left with a burning question: what would become of CLA? With Lan&Jordan and Jordan reunited and wreaking havoc, whispers spread that their alliance might be deeper and more personal than anyone suspected. Rumors swirled around CLA, casting her as more than just a familiar face in Genoa City. What if she wasn't just a bystander in the drama, but a key player hiding in plain sight? Speculation began to mount. Could CLA be the secret daughter of Jordan and Lan&Jordan? Her poised, innocent demeanor now appeared to be a carefully constructed mask, hiding a lineage tainted with manipulation, crime, and cruelty. Fans theorized that CLA's sweet and charming facade was merely a disguise, one she wore to get closer to those she planned to betray. But the ultimate question lingered: would she embrace this dark inheritance or reject the twisted legacy that Jordan and Ian had crafted? CLA's shadowed past. For years, Claire had maintained a spotless reputation in Genoa City. She was kind-hearted, always willing to lend a hand, a friend to all. But there was something oddly guarded about her, something that didn't quite fit. Despite her outward openness, Claire had always dodged any questions about her past, especially when it came to her family. Her reluctance to submit to a DNA test had raised eyebrows, but no one had pressed her until now. With Jordan and Ian back in town, everyone began to wonder, what was Claire hiding? If she was indeed Jordan and Ian's daughter, her story took on a far darker edge. Raised by two of Genoa City's most notorious criminals, Claire's life would have been a twisted journey, one that taught her to conceal her true nature beneath a mask of innocence. The possibility that Claire had played everyone around her sent shivers through the community. Jordan's call, a test of loyalty. The day finally came when Claire's phone rang, and the caller ID flashed a name that made her heart skip a beat. Jordan. She knew that if she answered, there would be no turning back. Jordan, cunning and manipulative as ever, was reaching out, ready to reel her back into a world of crime and deception. And if Claire was indeed her daughter, Jordan's call wasn't just a request, it was a summons, a command to fulfill her role in the family's legacy. CLA hesitated, her finger hovering over the answer button. She had carved out a life of her own in Genoa City, one that was miles away from the darkness that Jordan and Ian embodied. Her heart pounded with the weight of the decision. Did she truly want to rejoin them, to trade her happiness for a life of manipulation, betrayal, and crime? The struggle within. Claire's mind raced as she considered her options. On one hand, she had the life she had built, filled with genuine friends and a sense of peace. She enjoyed the comfort of normalcy, the simplicity of honesty, and the warmth of community. But on the other hand, she felt a strange pull toward Jordan and Ian, an unexplainable connection that tugged at her, urging her to embrace the darkness she had buried deep within. As she stood in silence, memories of her childhood flooded her mind. She remembered glimpses of Jordan's steely gaze, Ian's cold smirk, and the chilling lessons they had imparted, lessons about power, deception, and the ruthlessness needed to survive. They had taught her to be a chameleon, to blend in until she was ready to strike. Was that the life she wanted to return to, or had she finally escaped their influence? A choice between light and darkness. For Claire, answering Jordan's call wasn't just a matter of picking up the phone. It was a choice between two worlds, one of light, where she could continue her life as it was, and one of darkness, where her true nature might finally emerge. Genoa City was a place of second chances, of reinvention, and of redemption. But could Claire truly change, or was she destined to follow in her parents' footsteps? In the end, she made her decision. She silenced the phone, watching as Jordan's name faded from the screen. For now, she chose the life she had built, the people she cared about, and the person she wanted to be. But in the back of her mind, a question remained. Could she really escape her past, or would Jordan and Ian's influence eventually draw her back, transforming her into the villain she had always feared becoming? The future, uncertain. As CLA walked away from the call, she knew that Jordan and Ian would not be so easily deterred. Their reach was long, and their patience was infinite. She had chosen her path for now, but the world of crime and manipulation was not finished with her. As Genoa City watched, Claire's true nature remained a mystery. Only time would tell if she would ultimately embrace her family's legacy or break free from it once and for all. Stay tuned for the next chapter. The residents of Genoa City were left wondering, had they ever truly known Claire? And with Jordan and Ian lurking in the shadows, would she be able to hold on to the life she had chosen, or would her family ties eventually pull her back into their world of darkness? One thing was certain. Genoa City was about to witness a story like no other, one that would test the boundaries of loyalty, identity, and the haunting power of family secrets. The Young and the Restless spoilers reveal that Jill Abbott accepted Victor Newman's deal. Then, Jill went to Chancellor to tell Billy Abbott. At the time of writing this post, Jill still hasn't broken the news to Billy. In fact, Victor might end up announcing it before Jill can prepare Billy. Could that lead to Billy having a mental health breakdown? If so, who will save the disgraced and humiliated CEO? Trigger WARNING. This post talks about suicide. Please keep this in mind before continuing to read. If you're someone you know is in a mental health crisis, call 911 who saves disgraced. The Young and the Restless spoilers, Billy Abbott's false victory. Lan&R spoilers reveal that Jill gave Billy an ultimatum. Billy had 3 weeks to get Lily Winters, Crystal Khalil, back at Chancellor. The first time that Billy asked, Lily turned him down. However, Billy recently tried again and Lily accepted. After a period of uncertainty and resentment, Billy feels on top of the world again. Billy is making a lot of exciting arrangements for Chancellor. All the while, Billy has no clue that all his plans and energy are for nothing. Lan&R spoilers, Jill Abbott's deal. Fans watched as Jill came to Genoa City to attend Devon Hamilton Winters, Brighton James, and Abby Newman Abbott's Melissa Ordway wedding. Before the ceremony, Victor summoned Jill to his office at Newman Enterprises. Victor offered Jill a deal. Victor's edge was that Billy was failing Jill and Chancellor in so many ways. Jill agreed that things haven't gone well with Billy in charge, and she hoped Lily could help that. In the end, Jill accepted Victor's deal. Then, Jill stopped by Chancellor to speak with Billy. The Young and the Restless spoilers, Victor Newman's announcement. The Young and the Restless spoilers reveal that Jill presumably stopped by Chancellor to tell Billy about her deal. Jill overheard Billy talking excitedly on the phone, and his energy was so upbeat. Jill can probably tell that this news will devastate and even infuriate Billy. Jill might not want to ruin the energy during Devon and Abby's special day, so Jill might decide to tell Billy after the wedding party. However, it would be just like Victor to beat Jill to it and announce the deal at the wedding. Could that be the unexpected turn of events that happen after Devon and Abby tie the knot? Lan&R spoilers, suicide and rescue. If Jill had a chance to warn Billy, things might be okay. However, I have the feeling that Victor will blindside Billy by announcing the loss at the wedding. If that happens, it could taint Jill and Billy's relationship forever. Plus, it could send a high-flying Billy crashing down to catastrophic lows. Could Billy feel that he's lost it all, and will it lead him down a self-destructive path? If so, who will save Billy? Will it be Lily, Chelsea Lawson, or perhaps Victoria Newman? I'm voting Victoria, although that will leave Cole Howard with a broken heart. It just seems that Victoria's concern for Billy goes beyond co-parenting. Share your thoughts in the comment section below. Remember to keep watching the soap on CBS or Paramount Plus to find out what happens next. The Young and the Restless spoilers reveal that Sharon Newman couldn't find her phone. At the time the phone was missing, Phyllis Summers got a text from Sharon's phone. Sharon claimed she was ready to confess and wanted to meet. Then, Sharon continued texting Phyllis while the real Sharon was driving. By the end of the episode on Wednesday, November 13, 2024, both Sharon and Phyllis crashed. Who had Sharon's phone, and who is responsible for Phyllis' accident, though? The Young and the Restless spoilers, planting seeds. Lan&R spoilers reveal that Sharon has been busy planting seeds in people's minds that Phyllis is unstable. Meanwhile, Phyllis is trying to prove that she's right about Sharon killing Heather Stevens and framing Daniel Rumalotti Jr. Sharon told Nick Newman, Joshua Morrow, that she wanted to warn Chance that Phyllis could fabricate evidence. Nick told Sharon that wasn't a good idea and maybe she should go to that resort in Sedona. Lan&R spoilers, Chance Chancellor's warning. Then, Sharon became fixated on Phyllis' claim that she had evidence. Sharon fell for the trap and went searching Phyllis' hotel room. Phyllis walked in to bust Sharon, who then passed out. When Sharon woke up, Phyllis was surprisingly still alive and Chance Chancellor, Connor Floyd, was also there. While Sharon was able to walk out of there, Chance gave both her and Phyllis warnings. The Young and the Restless spoilers, Faith Newman's observation. The Young and the Restless spoilers reveal that after getting the warning from Chance, Sharon went to the coffee house. Sharon couldn't find her phone and even got Faith Newman's, Raylingcaster, help with looking. It still wasn't found, but Sharon didn't seem overly concerned about it. Lan&R spoilers, Phyllis Summers crash. Faith went out with her friends, and Sharon ended up driving at night. Phyllis was also driving on her way to Sharon's house. Phyllis got a text message from Sharon's phone saying she was ready to confess. However, when Phyllis got the first message, Sharon and Faith were searching for her phone. As Phyllis was driving, Sharon kept sending numerous text messages urging her to hurry up. Sharon must have known Phyllis was driving and would keep looking down at her phone. Then, Phyllis and Sharon both screamed. It's clear that both crashed, but into each other, or are these separate accidents? Back to the text messages, what the heck is going on? One theory I have is that Sharon did send those text messages. Just because we didn't see her send them doesn't mean she isn't the sender. Plus, Sharon might have been pretending to have lost her phone. Faith would be a witness that Sharon lost her phone, a good excuse to claim she never sent Phyllis any messages. In fact, maybe Sharon intentionally left her phone in Phyllis' hotel room. Maybe Sharon installed some kind of text message scheduling app in order to prove Phyllis is framing her. There seem to be a lot more twists coming up, so stay tuned. Share your thoughts in the comment section below. Remember to keep watching the soap on CBS or Paramount Plus to find out what happens next. The Young and the Restless spoilers for Friday, November 15, reveal that Nick Newman wants to know how Sharon Newman knew about Phyllis Summers crashing. Sharon has to fess up to something, most likely an altered version of the truth. Then again, Sharon may feel the urge to reveal all, including info about Heather Stevens and Daniel Rumalotti. Will she go there? She may just brush the surface, but Nick will want to know how his baby mama ex Sharon knew about his baby mama Phyllis being injured without him saying a word. The Young and the Restless spoilers, will Sharon come clean? How can Sharon spin her latest stunt? Will she say that she saw the crash and raced home to call 911? Remember, she was returning home for her phone. What a difference a day makes. We know now that it was likely Jordan who is responsible for the crash, based on her comment to Ian Ward. On a scale of 1 to 10 of soap villain alliances, this one is a 15. Victor celebrates. Elsewhere, Victor Newman is thrilled that he pulled off a coup where Chancellor is concerned. Will he use Abby Newman's wedding to make the big announcement and rub Billy Abbott's face in the truth? Jill Abbott's decision will cause plenty of fireworks and heartache going forward. L&R spoilers. Kyle furious. Meanwhile, Kyle Abbott is stunned by his mom, Diane Jenkins Abbott's equally stunning announcement. She is now in the big girl seat at Glissade and is firing Kyle, who asks Victor for confirmation. Seriously, Abby's wedding should have been a costume ball for all of the smoke and mirrors taking place. Will Victor tell Kyle the truth? And will he announce that Diane and Jack Abbott's personal war isn't real, then expose their fraud? Diane and Jack have been chewing the scenery, and it's hard to believe that the great Victor Newman was duped by these two. Maybe it's been Victor who has been pulling the strings. However, the show chooses to spin this tale. Diane and Jack's fakery is finally exposed. The Young and the Restless spoilers. Jack and Diane busted. Tell us, L&R fans, what do you think of the revelation that Jordan and Ian are back large and in charge? Were you astonished, and do you think that have what it takes to turn GC on its ear? Be sure to catch up on everything happening with L&R right now. The Young and the Restless spoilers reveal that Audra Charles may be headed to the altar despite her belief that marriage is archaic and overrated. Audra had plenty of negative things to say about the concept of tying the knot during Devin Winters and Abby Winters' wedding reception. Of course, Audra's marriage views are nothing new, since she already made them clear to Nate Hastings in recent months. If Audra didn't already hate the idea of marital unions, Tucker McCall really turned her against them. Despite Tucker's repeated proposals and promises for a wonderful life together, he ended up having a nasty split with Audra. It no doubt made Audra even more jaded about the thought of saying marriage vows, since it could all fall apart. Nevertheless, fate may have other plans, at least if the outcome of Abby's bouquet toss is any indication. Tradition says that the person who catches it will be the next to wed, and it's Audra who wound up catching it in L&R's November 15 episode. Did that bouquet catch just lock in Audra's wedding to Nate? Audra warned Nate not to get any ideas, but it felt like a soapy way to set up their eventual nuptials. Although Audra doesn't want to let herself fall too hard, she's indeed growing closer to Nate, and may eventually find that she can't live without him. There may come a point when Nate pops the question and gets Audra to relent on the notion of living happily ever after. Audra thinks she's closed herself off to real love, but it looks like she'll be proven wrong sooner or later. Nate may be Audra's perfect match, and based on this bouquet situation, her bridal fate may already be sealed. The Young and the Restless spoilers say some shockers and shakeups are brewing for Audra, so we'll bring you more predictions on her romantic path and updates on any engagement news on the horizon. The Young and the Restless spoilers and updates reveal what began as a temporary 3-month assignment has blossomed into an incredible journey spanning more than 40 years. Eric Braeden has graciously remained in the role, captivating audiences as the iconic Victor Newman. The Young and the Restless spoilers. Eric Braeden spoke about if he plans to retire. Naturally, Braeden often fields inquiries regarding his retirement, and he's answered those questions for years, or at least the last 10 or 15. While no one is eager to see him step back, the 83-year-old actor has faced some health challenges in recent years, prompting fans to speculate about his future on the show. In a recent chat with TV Insider, Eric Braeden dispelled any rumors about retirement. It's evident that Braeden is feeling much healthier now, and he has no immediate plans to leave. "I will not. I don't want to," Braeden expressed when asked about retiring. "I feel very well. I really do." L&R spoilers. Eric Braeden wants to keep going as long as possible. This is fantastic news for fans eager to see Victor remain in the spotlight for as long as possible. Braeden also provided some health updates, reinforcing his commitment to Y&R. The bladder cancer is under control, and I'll have another cystoscopy in about a month if that comes back negative. I'll have some time off. It's never fully gone, so monitoring is essential, but the signs are very promising. Braden shared, "It sounds like it's under good control." He also mentioned that his new knee is fully healed, allowing him to do power squats and engage in various activities to maintain his fitness. The Young and the Restless spoilers, Eric Braden won't leave the show. Eric Braden's vibrant health and vitality make it clear why he's eager to continue portraying Victor, and he has no intention of leaving the show or retiring. If this trend continues, we can look forward to seeing Victor grace our screens for many more years. As long as the show will have Eric, Eric will be Victor. Victor is known for clever schemes, as shown by the surprise rebuilt Newman Ranch house for Nikki Newman and the deal he's negotiating with Jill Abbott. According to upcoming spoilers for the show, Victor is set to unleash even more surprises in the near future, so stay tuned for our insights on the daring developments to come. Viewers can always count on the mustache. Be sure to catch up on everything happening with Lan&R right now. The Young and the Restless spoilers reveal that Ian Ward is back on canvas, so he'll be involved with multiple characters during his new stint. So far, Ian has only been seen scheming in a motel room with Jordan, but that'll inevitably change down the road. Since Ian is shaking up Genoa City again, this might be a good time to reveal a shocking new connection. What if Ian has a biological daughter in GC that no one ever knew about? It's a possibility to consider, especially after a hint that Billy Abbott offered up during a conversation with Sally Spectra. Let's take a closer look at some of Billy's dialogue in Lan&R's November 15 episode. "You know, in some way, maybe it's a good thing that you lost touch with your mom and dad from such a young age," Billy said, "because at a certain point, your parents, they let you down." What if Billy said that because the show's about to dive deeper into Sally's history? This might be a good opportunity to offer a big twist that even Sally herself doesn't see coming. Based on what we know so far, Sally's grandmother raised her as well as her younger sister after their carnival worker parents landed on the wrong side of the law. However, Sally's mother could have easily gotten pregnant by someone else and buried the paternity secret. There's no guarantee that Sally and Coco Spectra shared the same biological father. What if Ian Ward is Sally's bio-dad instead? Sally's mother might have gotten pregnant by Ian once upon a time and tried to cover it up. Of course, Ian may have found out the truth somehow anyway. Perhaps Ian could blow up Sally's life like never before by wanting to form a father-daughter bond. It's even possible that Jordan could be Sally's mother if Lan&R wants to take the rewrite to the next level, but a simple paternity cover-up would be a lot easier to explain and roll with. Our predictions point to some surprising Ian revelations playing out now that he's back in the mix, so we'll bring you updates on all the shockers. The Young and the Restless spoilers say Sally could have some chaos ahead of her, so stay tuned for any wild news she might face. The Young and the Restless spoilers reveal that Billy Abbott and Victoria Newman's daughter returned to Genoa City to meet Claire Grace Newman. Now that Katie and Johnny Abbott are staying around, what is the next big story? A while back, it was mentioned that Katie is an overachiever. As Katie heads into the teen years, could she end up facing an addiction stemming from her relentless drive to succeed? Keep reading and let's talk about the possibility. The Young and the Restless spoilers, Victoria Newman's kids return. Lan&R spoilers reveal that after Victoria, Claire, and Cole Howard moved in together, Katie and Johnny soon joined. It took a while, but Claire finally won Katie over. More recently, it seems that Victoria and Billy's focus is elsewhere. Victoria is dealing with Victor Newman's war with Jack Abbott, which has Billy stuck in a bad position. Meanwhile, Billy is focusing on Jill Abbott's ultimatum. Unknown to Billy, Jill is also considering Victor's deal. Lan&R spoilers. Overachiever mention. Shortly after Katie and Johnny returned, there was a father/daughter date with Billy. At that time, it was mentioned that Billy was missing a few dates with his kids. Then, it was also mentioned that Katie was an overachiever. Sounds like she gets that from both of her parents, although it manifests in different ways. The Young and the Restless Spoilers, Katie Newman's secret addiction. The Young and the Restless Spoilers reveal that Katie being an overachiever could lead to some troublesome storylines. As Katie starts getting into her teen years, could overachieving lead her to some kind of addiction, such as stimulants or even gambling? As fans know, Billy and Victoria are both overachievers as well. However, Billy's manifests through gambling and risky business deals. Could Katie be more like her father than she thinks? And our spoilers, kids' mental health. Lately, it seems the soap has really focused on mental health when it focuses on the kids at all. Connor Newman had a long storyline featuring obsessive-compulsive disorder. Claire is an adult, but went through a harrowing mental health storyline of her own thanks to Jordan. Harrison Abbott was kidnapped and had issues afterward. Harrison also struggled with Kyle Abbott and Summer Newman's divorce. As for Johnny, he struggled when learning the truth about his connection to Connor. It seems that Katie might be next. Could it being mentioned about Katie's overachieving be a hint of what's to come? Could Katie end up addicted to stimulants or get involved with gambling? Share your thoughts in the comment section below. You're listening to Soap Dirt, your source for the latest in television entertainment news. Hey, and our fans, guess what? Christmas just came early because mega villain Ian Ward is back, and he's conspiring with the ever-crazy Jordan Howard. These two have set up Sharon and killed Heather. But the big question is, why? I'm Belinda from Soap Dirt, and I've got all the answers you need about this incredible sweeps twist that I teased in yesterday's early edition spoilers. If you haven't already, please click subscribe. Let's dive into this because I am beyond excited. Ian Ward is one of my all-time favorite villains. So if you're current on the US episodes, you've seen Phyllis get lured away from Daniel and drive to Sharon's house to get a confession for Heather's murder, or so she thought. Sharon didn't send those texts. Her phone was missing. Meanwhile, Sharon was also headed home after searching for her phone at Crimson Lights. In Wednesday's episode, Phyllis was distracted by texts supposedly from Sharon and crashed into a tree after an oncoming car ran her off the road. This fiery crash makes it look like Sharon was about to confess to killing Heather, and everyone, including Phyllis, buys it. The Thursday episode's big twist, Ian Ward and Jordan Howard are revealed as the masterminds. But why are they targeting Sharon and Heather? And what about Phyllis, Daniel, and the rest? Are they collateral damage or primary targets? Let's start with Heather's connection to Ian Ward. Ian, a notorious cult leader, ran the New World cult that included Nikki Newman and Heather's father, Paul Williams. Paul's dad eventually rescued them, and the commune burned down, sending Ian to prison. Killing Paul's daughter, Heather, could be revenge for destroying his cult. Now, why freeing Sharon? The history is complicated. Sharon's daughter, Mariah, was secretly sold at birth to Ian, who raised her in his second cult, The Path. Maria later came to Genoa City, hired by Victor to gaslight Sharon due to her resemblance to Cassie. Ian's twisted hold on Mariah and his vendetta against the Newmans runs deep. He even drugged Mariah and forced her into a sham marriage, using her to con Sharon. Ian's history with Sharon and the Newmans involves years of manipulation, grudges, and con artistry. Nikki's troubled past, Victor's ruthless tactics, and Paul's connection through Heather all make them targets. Jordan Howard's involvement adds another layer. She loathes the Newmans, and Victor once held her captive, lying to the authorities about her discovery. So, how did Ian and Jordan reconnect and escape without alerting their victims? And why target Heather and frame Sharon? One theory is that they drugged Sharon, triggering her erratic behavior and hallucinations. This scenario fits the murder of Heather and incriminates Sharon with those planted texts. With Sharon's arrest imminent, Phyllis's crash implicates her as well, and Daniel will be exonerated. Meanwhile, Ian and Jordan's true plans remain hidden, free to strike again. Victor, who's orchestrated so many schemes, might finally face consequences. Could Ian and Jordan's next target be the Newman patriarch himself? This twist promises to unravel in dramatic fashion. Ian Ward's return brings a welcome blast from the past, and if you're new to Y&R, buckle up, you're in for a wild ride. Crazy Aunt Jordan is known to escape the law on the young and the restless. The villain loves to cause havoc in Genoa City. It's become her new favorite hobby. It's also likely that Jordan's on the loose once again. Who is Aunt Jordan? Jordan is Eve Howard's nefarious sister. She's convinced that the Newmans caused hell for her sister. But Eve tried to lure Victor into her deceitful web. Over the years, Jordan devised a scheme to get back at the Newmans. She brought up Victoria's and Cole's daughter Claire and fed her lies about her upbringing. She sent Claire to work for the Newmans to kill off the entire family at their remote lake house. Jordan ended up in the hands of the authorities multiple times. Of course, it didn't work because she's a mastermind who can set any building on fire. Not to mention, Jordan had various disguises. She would use them to taunt Claire and Nikki. At one point, she killed Nikki's sponsor, Seth, by pushing him into oncoming traffic. Victor had to figure out how to get rid of Jordan once and for all. After she failed to kidnap Claire and Harrison, Victor locked her up in his basement. He declared that she died. However, she was back in police custody. Did Jordan escape? Jordan became one of the most slippery villains in soap opera history. She can escape prison time if Sheila Carter. During the Thursday, November 14 episode, Jordan reveals her whereabouts. She shows up at the cheap motel with Ian Ward. She tells him that everything is done according to plan. He declares, "How wonderful." What scheme is Jordan plotting now? Does she have something to do with Phyllis' car wreck? Or does she plan to burn down the Newman Ranch?